way I thought it would suit the most. And this is the first time I'm talking to students without any slide, because there was no official invitation. I am doing it out of love for the college and respect for the teachers. So I didn't want to use the official laptop, and I have a desktop which doesn't have the webcam. So I thought of writing a few points in a piece of paper and do this the old school stuff, the chalk and talk. So there will be three parts in the discussion. So in the first part, I'm going to talk about the soft skills that are very much relevant for the industry, and they are not only branch agnostic, year agnostic, it is also industry agnostic, meaning it doesn't matter whether you are from ECE or from electrical or from mechanical, doesn't matter which year you are in, and doesn't matter which company or which job profile you are applying to. It could be product level, it could be service level, it could be IT, it could be non-IT, it could be research profile. So these will hold good as far as I understand. The second part will be completely focused towards ECE, and job profile wise it will be completely focused towards either product level jobs or research level works, not non-IT. Specifically, I would like to use this word non-IT. So basically, and the third session, on the third part of it, I would like to hear from you. If you have any questions, do ask me questions, and feel free to stop me at any point in time. As I said, this is like me coming back to home. SMIT is I already have very nostalgic feelings. So I'll also have, I must have some emotional repulsion when I talk about these things. So I'll refer back to my memories, my experiences, my journey during my stay at SMIT, which may not be relevant for the students, but I think the professors who took our classes will be able to map align to those things. So without further ado, and one more thing, and two things, do feel free to stop me at any point in time. That is point number one, and that is very crucial. If you have no questions at the end, I will think that I have not done my job right, because there should be some questions, and if there is not, then at least tell me about Tapos Das Dokan and Gautam Das Dokan and Nimai Das Dokan and how internet is at Uttipura. I mean, just give me some input so that I feel something in the emotional realm. So I have something out of this talk. So the first few things that I'm going to talk about, as I said, will be course agnostic and domain agnostic, industry agnostic. So let me put things into perspective. So this is what I feel after spending good 5 years in the industry and working with many eminent professors as a part of my work and visiting many places. So this is my understanding about the soft part of it. And just to add one thing, I have not joined ECS R&D right after BTech. I went for I completed my BTech in 2013. On the same year, I cleared GATE exam and went for my master's in signal processing. I did it from Shippu, Beshu. Now it is called IIEST. And from there, I got this job. So, and I am saying this because these will come into the discussion as we progress. So first of all, I would like to say about the scope of bachelor's. And it is very crucial to set your focus right, okay? So the first thing is that your bachelor's, I see it as a wide band process. So since it is a wide band process, you have much more opportunities than the rest of the focused courses. And since it is wide band in nature, your opportunity goes up, but also the in-band noise also goes up, meaning now you have much more competition in the spectrum. And also your SNR will go down since you cannot process it with much diligence. Meaning, I can comment about TCS, it does now two opportunities. One is called Ninja, the other is a digital profile. So in Ninja, they select people who have more authenticity in, have more, sophisticated take towards coding. And in the digital, it is more like writing service routines and developing things, and for automation. And the term automation is very crucial here, which I'll talk about in the other section. So you need to understand that things are changing. Okay, so if you are asking for a job right after the BTech, I have been there. I have done that. So you might have student loans or any other financial compulsion. So it might occur that you must get a job after BTech. So these are the opportunities that you'll find knocking at your door. There will be core company opportunities also, but there is a subtle difference. The difference is that MNCs, the process is a selection process. You need to understand this. For MNCs, for IT companies, it is a selection process. They come to hire you. They come in these interviews will vary from company to company. Okay. So if it is a MNC or an IT related profile, it is basically a selection process. So with a little bit of understanding of the overall process, I think it will be very easy for you to get into that and continue your life and contribute to the community, to the IT community as a whole. So it will not be a very tough job for you. But if it is a core company, then you need separate preparation. You need to condition your learnings and your knowledge towards the common goal of the company or the job they are asking you to do. Let's say if you are good in let's say network theory or stuff like that, but if they are putting up a position for communication, you will not make it through no matter how good you are in network theory. But again, if you are very good at network theory and if you appear in an MNC and say that I'm very good at network theory, chances are you will not get selected. But because the actual job profile is different. So my first suggestion would be to carefully assess the job profiles, the openings, the offerings that are there. What are they asking for? The pro tip that I can give you is that you first assess whether this company is asking you to give you your own CV or they are asking you to fill in a template that they have already provided. Okay. So CVs are a great opportunity to showcase your own skill set, and it is also a great opportunity to show your hard-working abilities. Okay. So if they are providing you a template, basically it's a selection process. Why they are doing it? They are basically drawing a uniform distribution across the Gaussian distribution. So basically they are neutralizing all the differences across the CVs. So all of the CVs will appear equal to them. Because it is a selection process and not a rejection process. But if you go into a rejection process kind of a scenario, they will ask you to give your CV which has no fixed template, and the first round will be based on CV only. I can talk about it a little more. So after completing my masters, this is R&D. Back then it was called R&D, now it is called R&I, Research and Innovation. Back then it was called Research and Development. When they came, they offered this job to 8 disciplines and only top 2. So only 16 people were selected to appear, and it was a 0 slot. And in Shibpur, 0 slot means it is the first company that will appear. So it was a bid across Cadence and TCS and some other companies. So TCS made it through, and they came. And out of those 16 CVs that they collected, they rejected some 6 of them and brought the rest 10 of us to the finals. There were obviously subsequent 2-3 other rounds, but the point I want to make here is that just understand this. Those 6 people who got rejected were toppers of their discipline, either from BTech or from MTech. But they were the toppers, they were the best of the lot. Okay, but they got rejected out and out because of their CV only. So do not underestimate it. And my suggestion would be, spend some time into learning LaTeX. The word is LATEX, but do not pronounce it as latex, because latex is a substance that you mix with cement and whatnot, but it is pronounced as LaTeX. So you try to spend some time around this software. It's a free software. It is a very well-known software across research community, and whenever in your career you write a business proposal or a research proposal or any sort of proposal which carries some value to you, I insist you to write it on LaTeX. It will take some time you to master it, but at the day's end, the final product is superb. Okay, superb would be an understatement. The way it looks, the feel of it, the text, the font, and immediately the person who is reading your CV will understand that this guy has put in a lot of effort into creating this CV alone. Okay, so do not underestimate the power of CV, and whenever you find the opportunity to put your CV or to send your CV to someone, use your LaTeX version. Do not use the age-old Word templates and all. They look very they eventually will carry a negative impact on you, and this goes through when you are also applying for internships. So when we get CVs from different students of different colleges, so the first round is always based on the CV, and these are the things that we look into. So take a note of that. If possible, go through 3, 4, 5 lectures on LaTeX and try to master it, and create one CV and add a little bit of personal touch to it. So it can be a change in the font or in the spacing or something. I don't know. Just create your version of the CV. And for a reference, I looked up into my CV, which is 5 years old, because for the last 5 years I'm working with the same company. I have no intention to changing it, so I never updated it. Now today I took the trial of listing all the patents, all the publications, but I did it on the LaTeX version because I wanted to send it to sir, and I also told him that if somebody is interested in seeing a template and how the finished product looks, you can look into that. And if not, just go through any good research publication, it will be definitely written in LaTeX. There are people who write in Word, but the numbers are shrinking with every passing year. Okay, so this is the tip number 1. Have a good CV ready, and use LaTeX. The second thing is very, very important. Out of this whole one hour, if you can take away only one point, even if you forget my name after that, just remember this point. Just create a LinkedIn profile. Okay, it is of paramount importance in 2020 to have a active LinkedIn account. So it is the first time that I'm delivering a talk and I see a blank screen in front of me. I cannot see anybody's face. So can I hear a few responses? So how many of you have a LinkedIn profile? Can you just say yes, no, I do not?
Yes, sir, I have.
Yeah, Anand, go ahead.
Yes, sir, I have.
Yeah. Okay. So
Yes, sir,
so you do it actively. So do you maintain it actively?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, and how many recommendations you have got so far?
There are lots, but they need BTech degree.
No, not degree. In LinkedIn, you can have recommendations from your professors, from your even your more and more. Okay, and I feel after passing out after so many years, when I look back into my days, I feel that this is possibly the most abused word in engineering fraternity, the word soft skills. So you see that many private companies will come and knock at the doors of your college, of your university, and they'll take classes, and they'll say that we have done our BTech from this college, that college served this company, that company, and more often than not, towards the end of this session, they will tell you how much you are lagging, you are not good. So don't let anybody tell you that you are not good. See, nobody is asking you to have thousands and thousands of vocabs. Nobody is asking you to talk in Shakespearean English or Shashi Tharoor English, if I may put it that way. Nobody is asking you to do that. The only requirement is to think aloud, and the word think aloud is very, very industry specific. It's a jargon that you will hear for the rest of your life. Doesn't matter which industry you go into, people use this word more often than not, and they'll say, okay, I'm just thinking aloud. The way I'm doing it now. What am I doing? I have no slides. I'm not reading it out. I'm just thinking aloud. I have some key points. I'm thinking aloud. This is the least thing expected from you. If you're into on-site and stuff like that, you will have time to enhance that. But if you are more focused towards MBA after your bachelor's, sure, go ahead and take those classes. But otherwise, I have seen my friends from my batch, attending those classes, and when they came back to the mess, they were more depressed, after attending those classes than they were before. So it did them little good and more harm. So do not let anybody tell you that you are not good. You are as good as any bachelor students passing out from any company, from any college. If you are looking for profiles like IT and stuff like that, you are as good as them. So you need to practice this throughout the journey of engineering. Don't postpone it for the last 3 weeks, 4 weeks. In last 3 weeks, 4 weeks, nobody can teach you how to do better in communication. It's a throughout process. So spend some time on that, and I'm telling you again and again, do not let anybody tell you that you are not good. You are as good as anybody else. in your year. And frankly, if you put some common sense into it, if they were after some guy who has brilliant English communication skills, they would have been gone to some English lit college and not engineering college. It is not the primary requirement. It's like playing a boxing match. If you know taekwondo and if you know certain tricks of martial arts, of course you will have benefits. But at the day's end, if you don't have the raw muscle power, no amount of martial arts will help you win a boxing match. So in engineering, you need to focus on certain engineering aspects that you are supposed to learn. You focus on that, and parallelly you do these stuffs on a daily basis. Don't postpone them for the last 6 weeks or 4 weeks. They will do no good to you, and if possible, don't waste your money on these courses. They do no good to you. Okay. The other thing is, again, I'll repeat this thing again and again. At the day's end, everything boils down to one simple thing, and that is confidence. That will, clear the herd for you and make your way towards your success, whatever the definition of success is to you. The key thing here is confidence. Do not let anybody, be it your professor, be it your principal, be it somebody from the management, be it the guy who is coming from a unknown company and saying that he is an expert in the field of communication. Don't let anybody tell you that you are not good, you are as good as anybody else. So that is the second highest amount of time that I'm going to spend in that. The another point is that your Viva exams are a great opportunity for you to practice face-to-face interviews. Okay, so oftentimes you'll face the situation that you have prepared for one topic really good, and there are topics in that chapter or in that subject which you have not prepared that way. So in many times in interviews, in industry interviews, just give me a second. So in many interviews, so the panel will ask you, what is your favorite topic? The way you are asked in your Viva exams in your college. There it is a win-win situation for both the parties. They will ask you on the topic you name, and you can choose the topics that you have studied really well. But if it is a very focused profile, let's say IBM posting a job profile for data analytics. So there they will not ask you what is your favorite topic, and you say my favorite topic is analog electronics, and they start asking questions asking you questions on analog electronics. That won't happen. They will start bombarding questions, asking you questions on data analytics. So be prepared and use these Viva sessions on your curriculum to learn the art of steering the discussion towards your the things that you have studied really well. I cannot give you a pointer on that. It has to come from within, and I exactly don't know what to tell you, but this is something that you need to keep in your subconscious mind, that I have studied this part really well. Doesn't matter what he asks me, I will try my best to steer that conversation towards that end of the spectrum. Sometimes you win, sometimes you fail. It has happened to me, it happens to everybody, but you need to keep this in mind also. And the other thing is, do not overdo certifications. Okay, so you see, I cannot call names, but I would say like this. Okay, so I have seen people who have no idea about network theory, okay, but have 12 certifications on 12 different languages. Okay, now if you are sitting for a profile where it's a wideband kind of scenario, you might go through, not an issue. But if in the panel there is somebody who is from the same batch, from the same stream that you are in, you will definitely be asked 1 or 2 questions from your department. Okay, for example, if you are from ECE and the guy who is taking your interview is also from ECE, he will ask you, out of compulsion, he will ask you 2-3 questions on ECE. Okay, now you won't be able to answer those questions. So the message that passes is that this guy has done everything in the world except engineering. So if I hire him and if I give him a very specific task, he will do everything in the world and not that task. Okay. So don't overdo certifications. Of course, it is good if you can manage to do 3, 4, 5. It is okay. to have. It is also okay if you don't do any certification. It is also okay. Okay, at the day's end, they will ask you questions. If you answer them, great. Doesn't matter how many certificates you have. You might have 20 certificates. They ask you a question. You are not able to answer. It will do more harm to you than if you had no certification. So keep this in mind. The other thing is about engineering. Now, engineering is BTech, especially is an ensemble of toy problems. Okay. So it is basically an arrangement where you are exposed to a number of toy problems, and with every passing year and with every changing topic, you will be exposed to different aspects of one, cohesive real world problems. So it is very important to focus in all these subjects. If you miss 2 or 3 of them, when you join the industry, you will be given a real world problems, and all the knowledge, all the expertise that you have gained during your engineering by solving all those toy problems, if you miss out 2, 3 of them, you will not be able to solve that part. So then you will be compelled to bring in other experts from other domains and to solve your problem. So this is very crucial to understand what engineering is, and I will really encourage all of you, since you have a lot of time now because of this pandemic situation. I would really suggest that to go into MIT OCW and the digital communication course that is put up there, and more on that I'll talk in the second part. If you look into the first lecture only, the first 15 minutes the professor spends on what engineering is, what a toy problem is, how this, everything, cohesively creates a real world problem. He talks about that very diligently, and I encourage all of you to spend that 15 minutes, even if you are not willing to put in the effort of going through the entire course. The other thing is that, it would be better if you have a piece of paper and like going into the industry and not continue with the higher studies, which I highly encourage you to do. There is one professor, he is not anymore, so his name is Randy Pausch. He is a father figure in the domain of augmented reality, virtual reality. He was a professor at CMU, Carnegie Mellon University. So in CMU there is a ritual like, if this is the last lecture of your life, what would you say? Okay, so this is a ritual that happens at CMU, and in that lecture, media houses are invited, parents are invited, all faculty members, all alumnus are invited. It's a very big thing. And for Randy Pausch, it was a really peculiar thing, because it was indeed his last lecture, because he had brain tumor and he knew that doctors have told him that at most 3 months, then you are going to expire. So at that point in time, he delivered that lecture, and boy, it is something that you should look into as an engineering student. See, if you want motivation, if you want confidence, don't get it from me. And certainly don't get it from those people who claim to have done a lot of things and come and tell you that you are not good. No, you get it from people like these people. Okay, so if you aim at 90% only, then you will get 80%. But if you are aiming at 60%, you get 50. As simple as that. So I highly encourage you to look into that lecture. It is called, just Google the last lecture by Randy Pausch. It's well over 1 hour lecture, and you will get to know what he did to the community, how he changed the entire spectrum of virtual reality, how he managed to do the marriage between arts and science, and he will make notations about the world. So everything that I said at the beginning of this talk with signals and noise, he will say a slightly deeper version of that using the reference of the world. Okay, I'm not going to break the suspense of saying everything here. So I highly encourage you look into that, and you get a lot of motivation, and please do thank me later if you find so. Okay, and